welcome back to Legit News starring Greg Newsman. We've got a great show for you tonight. Looking at the news for today, we have an unexpected twist in the 2024 election when a mystery candidate, Bandit Healer, entered the race. Don't worry, we'll make sure to look at that later, but before we do, we need to look at the shocking study about Stanley products that was just published. All this and more on today's news broadcast. We'll be right back.
Are you tired of life getting you down? Are you done with depression kicking you in the face over and over again? Never fear, Greg Miracle Water is here. Kick your depression in the butt and solve all your life's problems with just a single sip of our Miracle Water. Get a new lease on life with Greg Miracle Water today. Side effects may include nausea, vomiting, restlessness, hallucinations of pink bunnies, the urge to become a DJ, the urge to hug a bear, heart palpitations, pregnancy, and death. Get your Greg Miracle Water for only $99.99 plus tax today.
With the recent win of the Kansas City Chiefs against the Buffalo Bills in the NFL playoffs, fans are beginning to worry about the possibility of Taylor Swift obtaining global dominance.
The former pop music star Taylor Swift had humble enough beginnings, often dating other celebrities and writing songs about blood. Eventually, the once-loved star descended into badness, dating more influential celebrities and creating darker and overall worse songs. Many other celebrities noticed the descent into chaos and started warning people in retaliation. The retaliation wasn't enough, however. The future of humankind now depends on one event, the Super Bowl. If the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, Taylor Swift will take over with her plan for global dominance, and the world as we know it will never be the same. At this time, government officials are warning citizens to lock our doors and to unfollow her on Spotify. If we, as a people, pull together, we could potentially avert the crisis of Taylor Swift.
Well, on that horrifying note, let's take a look at the weather for this week. Take it away, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Looking at the weather for today, we have sun. Or if you live in Texas, cold. This has been Greg T. Ornado with the weather report for today. Back to you in the studio, Greg. Thank you for that terrifying, amazing report, Greg. Looking back at the news for today, a new study shows that millions of millennial women are dying of dehydration because they don't have a Stanley tumbler. Stanley has become an increasingly popular brand over the last year, largely due to social media sites like Instagram and everyone's favorite, TikTok. All these women are dying because they cheaped out and bought a non-Stanley tumbler or water bottle, much like this one from lttstore.com. So, Greg, we all know and love Stanley, mainly because it gives men a viable option for a gift for Valentine's Day. But why would not having one of these tumblers cause millions of women to die of dehydration? Well, Greg on the spot, it's actually quite simple. Without 4 or 5 Stanley tumblers in a millennial women's cabinet to hold the 27 to 42 gallons of water that a millennial woman drinks a day, millions of women are succumbing to dehydration. It's as simple as that. Fascinating. Tell me, Greg, how can we prevent more women of succumbing to dehydration in the future? That's a very good question, Greg. All we need to do is to make sure that these women can buy Stanley tumblers. With how expensive these cups are, how can we make sure that these women can afford Stanley tumblers? Also a fabulous question, Greg. We know that these Stanley tumblers at $20 are $50 more than they should be. So we have alerted the government and they have issued a stimulus check for all affected women for the amount of $200. We hope that all affected women are able to make it through these rough times. If we pull together, we can make it happen. Well, we need to break for a commercial. When we come back, we'll be covering a story about a child's dream of becoming a football ref being broken because he has 20/20 vision, and a story about a surprise bandit in the upcoming 2024 presidential election. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Have you ever wanted to send a letter, write a book, draw a replica of that drawing you drew when you were 4 that your parents hung on the fridge? Well, multiple people on our staff encountered the same problem, so we sought out to create the perfect writing device. One that soothes your fingers the moment you touch the utensil. What resulted is a solid sheet of wood and a perfectly crafted hexagon body.
With this success, we knew we hadn't just created the perfect writing device, but the writing device. We call this piece of finely tuned perfection the iPencil. With the iPencil, you can write your dreams. And with the iPencil, we're also bringing a revolutionary new feature that will change the way you write forever. By purchasing our Sharpening Plus subscription for $14.99 a month plus tax, you can use your pencil on any pencil sharpener that has a made for iPencil sticker on it. You can use this to sharpen your pencil to make it write better like never before. And for an additional $299, we have a tool that will allow you to erase the government secrets that you just wrote. And for an additional $499, we will include a piece of finely tuned perfection crafted from a precisely thinned piece of wood. The iPencil starts at just $99. Get yours today.
And we're back. Jumping right back into the news this week, Martin Durfling, a 12-year-old boy living in Ohio, had his dreams broken of becoming a referee for the National Football League yesterday when it was revealed that the child had 20/20 vision. The discovery didn't come as a shock to his parents, however.
We'd figured he'd had good sight for months. I mean, we'd be driving down the road and he'd be able to make out that there was a truck coming. And the doctors just really confirmed what we'd already known. It really is sad to see a boy's dreams crushed just because he had 20/20 vision.
Really sad words. Word has it that Martin will now turn to becoming a referee for the NBA, with his only obstacle being he has to learn to accept bribes. Well, let's turn our attention away from the sad news this week and turn it to Greg in Florence with our sports report for this week. Greg?
Hello, I'm Greg in Florence with today's sports report. Tensions run high with the Super Bowl on the horizon, and this is no exception for Job. Job, who had not only lost 10 of his children, but also all of his livestock, was tested by Satan. And the newest torture for Job is seeing Michigan make their way towards the Super Bowl. Of course, Michigan has lost now, but for a long time, Michigan was winning, and screams could be heard from Job's house, screaming, "Why must the wicked prosper?" Job's wife and friends sat readily by, trying to comfort him in those troubling times. But Job did not calm down until he saw Michigan lose. That's all for the sports report this week. This has been Greg in Florence. Back to you in the studio, Greg.
Thank you, Greg. U.S. citizens encountered a shock today when a surprise candidate entered the 2024 Republican primary race. Bandit Healer, an already critically acclaimed role model for all fathers around the world, announced this morning that he would be running in the 2024 presidential election.
The polls changed drastically today, with Healer taking the lead in all the polls. When we asked to get an interview with Healer, we were confronted instead with Healer's hand puppet emu, Sean. We did get some input from Sean, however.
Well, that's all the news we have for today. Thank you for tuning in to Legit News tonight. Stay safe and have a great evening.